Welcome to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast,
where we've flipped the script with our groundbreaking modus operandi to bring you real, relevant, and relatable tactics and techniques to master your own play to win mindset.
Talk about a superpower. It's time to iron your cape.
What we know for sure is what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one is really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense.
Welcome to The Edge, where playing not to lose is not an option. Hey, Karen.
Yes, Jennifer.
The question we're starting out today with is, how do you know people trust you?
How do I know people trust me? Because they tell me stuff. I know so much stuff. And I think that because people just know that it's never going to go anywhere else. I feel like I'm a good sounding board for people. And I feel like they tell me things because they know that, well, they can trust me with, some scary shit. They can trust me with some things that are more confidential in their life. And I feel like when people tell me things, they really truly know that I'm kind of looking out for their best interest. I'm gonna tell you what to do person. I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna kind of throw things back and help you figure stuff out. But I think that I don't know if it goes hand in hand. One of my highest values is integrity, and trust goes hand in hand with integrity for me.
Yes. It's interesting. What?
I was just going to say, like years and years and years ago, one of the guys that I used to work with, he used to say, integrity is like virginity. You lose it only once.
Well, trust is such a complex, multi-layered topic, right? And it's true for some people that once they don't trust you, there is no coming back from that. There is no turning back on that. And it's interesting because trust is really a skill set to be able to develop it, to restore it, to be able to enhance it. It ebbs and it flows, and it makes such a difference in the quality relationships that you have and the productivity that a team will have, how it shows up in a culture and an organization. And I think it's a really interesting, it's a foundational need for all relationships of any kind. And I think it's really interesting to deconstruct the qualities and the characteristics and skills of trust.
Yeah. And, we could talk for, if you really think about it, right? We could talk about this topic from now through the end of the year and not repeat anything.
Yeah.
Because it's that big. And it means so many different things to so many different people. And I think that sometimes it gets painted with a little bit of a broad brush. And it really shouldn't be. There's so many components. There's so many things, right? It's like that old Navy SEAL quote or whatever, I trust you with my life, but not with my wife. So there's right there, I know that you have my back, but hey, wait a second. I think you trust me with your life, but not my wife or my wallet. I think there's another component there, but even just thinking about that, right? It's not just one thing. And yeah, I know that, people have each other's backs, but then when it gets to that next level of, intimacy, for lack of a better word, you're not going to trust the guy with your wife or the girl with your wife.
So a couple of things to think about. Karen and I see and work with teams far and wide, from California to Kuwait. And we can tell if there is trust on a team or if there is low trust on a team. And it's interesting to think of, what does low trust cost? Often in organizations where there's low trust, there's a lot of friction. There could be unethical behavior, hidden agendas, politics, lot of interpersonal conflicts. Win-lose type thinking happens when there's low trust. And often there's defensive and protective communication. This is what Karen and I like to call the playing not to lose mentality. And it's interesting to be able to come in and immediately be able to see on a team how a low trust is actually slowing everything down.
You know what, Jen, and if you really think about it, and I'm just going to rattle off a couple different things here, but if there's low trust, there's going to be reduced productivity, right? People are going to spend so much time, whether it's double checking, whether it's second guessing, all those things, covering up mistakes, whatever's going to happen. So there's going to be reduced productivity. There's probably crappy communication, right? Because people aren't comfortable being vulnerable. They're not going to share what they're thinking. Another thing that low trust is, it's about increased turnover, right? When people don't trust each other, like, why do you want to go to work if you're not trusting the people that you're working with? And right there, that's a huge cost to the organization, right? Because you're going to lose people because there's no trust. And and if you even think about innovation and creativity, you're going to be you want to take risks. But you can't if you don't trust the team that you're working with. And I think also it's that so many people are talking about engagement. Like, what kind of engagement is there really, really, truly if there's no trust?
Yeah, because when trust is high, it's completely a performance multiplier. So part of this is understanding what trust is made up of. What are the different elements? How can you measure trust? How can you do a self-evaluation of how you're showing up trustworthy or not showing up trustworthy? So Stephen Covey wrote a great book called The Speed of Trust, and totally recommend it. Check it out, all that good stuff. But we're going to just share a couple of concepts from there. And trust is really made up of two things: competence and character, right? So I'm going to say that again: competence and character. So competence is your capabilities, skill set, your results, your track record. How well is it at the things that you are required to do, right? So if your competence is not needed in our relationship, that may not factor into anything. But if I'm depending on your competence as a teammate, it's going to mean everything, if that makes sense. Character is going to be about integrity, your motive, your intent on why you do the things that you do, right? When you're working with other people, what's your motivation? And so that's how you're showing up. And are you walking your talk? And do you do the things that you say you're going to do? And are you looking out? Karen even mentioned it, why people trust her is because she has other people's best interest at heart more than her own. So there's the character of, I'm going to be here as a sounding board for you and what you need, because that's what's most important in this situation. When you think about what's important to you, Karen, is it character or is it competence?
Totally depends. Totally depends on the situation. I don't really. So here's the thing, right? So if I am going to go to a doctor, right, and I want an expert doctor, I got to tell you, character's nice, but I want them to be the best at what it is that they're doing. So if they want to be a little bit of an asshole, that's okay, as long as you are above the rest with the whole competence piece.
It's funny, when I think of competence, I'm like a pilot. I want the pilot to be competent. Yeah. I don't even need to meet them. I don't even need to know them. I don't need to know what they believe in or how they treat people. They need to know how to fly the plane.
The checklist.
The checklist. And where do you think character is more important than competence to you?
So I think that a lot of that, Jen, I think that the character, a lot of time in teams is some of the building blocks. And then you want to understand, you want to get to know people, you want to be vulnerable, you want to get that really, truly bonding. And then you can assess the competence, because a lot of times there's competence can be taught. But when you're really gelling with a group of people and a team, you want that character and you want to really, truly be able to bond with that.
Yeah. I think of character being important, like with my friends.
Yep.
Politicians, they can learn the system, but it's their character, their motives, and their intent that really mean a lot to me. And how that comes across, right? Could even be with, different people. So to realize character plus confidence equals the highest level of trust, but realize, how are you showing up in terms of walking your talk? How are you showing up and knowing what it is that you're supposed to do and how you're adding value to the team? It's important to sort of think about, if we needed to have other parts of the organization trust our department more, do you need to up your character? Do you need to up your confidence? It's a great question to be able to ask. If you need your colleagues to trust you more, what would that be? Character, competence, or both? Super fun to be able to think about, but the cost of mistrust within individuals and teams makes everything harder to accomplish. And when trust is there, things can go lightning quick.
Amen.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast.
Craving more? Of course you are.
Check out our website at kickstartyouredge.com,
where we fire you up, fan the flames of your competitive edge culture, and ignite your tenacious pursuit of an all-out play-to-win mindset.